everyone, this is Mindy Egan for Lawn Fawn, and in today's video, I am going to take the Big Hugs pop-up, and instead of using it as an interactive piece, I'm going to use it on the front of the card and turn it into a special character. I actually have lots of ideas of different characters that I would love to turn this bear into because it looks so cute and cuddly, but this was the first idea that came to mind. So I just went ahead and die cut all of the pieces, not the pop-up portion, but just the regular bear pieces from Lawn Fawn cardstock. And then I will be going through each piece and adding ink blending to give it a little bit more dimension. I'm starting with number 2 pencil for cardstock for my bear, also the feet, the muzzle, and the arms. I thought number 2 pencil was a really great match for the character that I was going for. And I'm going around at the edges using a small blending brush and dough ink. Now, this will dry back a little bit so it won't look so brown, but I really just wanted to give it more dimension instead of looking so flat. So I did that for the muzzle, the feet, and also the arms, and then, of course, the body. For the belly and also no, just the belly actually, not the feet. For this one, I did sugar cookie. Now that actually started to come up a little bit too light because I was using vanilla malt cardstock. So I kind of went around the edge a little bit with the leftover ink on my brown blending brush. Then I can start working on assembly. So I placed the ink blended piece of the feet over the top of a vanilla malt cardstock. I'm going to go ahead and add the belly. Again, I have some really great nostalgic ideas for this bear, especially with that belly piece. I'm adding on the muzzle. All of this I'm just using with my tweezers and liquid glue. Then we have a piece that die cuts for behind the ears. And I did that out of Ballet Slippers cardstock. So I added some liquid glue behind the back of the ears. And then I just placed that over the top of that die cut piece. There's also a piece that will give you a color for the nose and the eyes. I decided to go with, I think this is a chocolate bar instead of going with a black. And I really loved that because I thought that tied in nicely just with the softness and the cuddliness, if that's a word, with the bear. Now here is where my idea comes in. I was really happy that this turned out. I die cut the bear again from tomato cardstock. Now you can see after I trimmed off the head portion that that is too long. I need this to be a short little shirt. So I am using one of the dies from the stitched Hillside. I'm lining that up at the bottom. I'm going to hold it down with Post-it tape, run it through the die cut machine, and that created the perfect little shirt for this bear. His belly piece just barely sticks out there, and it does have like a stitching mark on it, which totally makes it look like a shirt. So I used that same die to create sleeves for my bear. And I used the first die cut piece as a guide so that each sleeve was looking about the same length. Then I went around the edges of that as well using chili pepper ink to give the shirt a little dimension as well. Then I can start working on assembly. Now, I just left this shirt plain because I was going for a certain character in mind, but how cute would this be to do it out of pattern paper? You could even stamp a design or use a stencil and do some stenciling on there. Get out your alphabet stamps and dies and maybe put a letter on the front. There's so many great ideas that you could use to give this little bear a shirt. I'm adding the feet down at the bottom because he's so cute with his feet sticking up when he's sitting down. The arms, I just kind of have them on their side a little bit, just kind of sticking out a little bit, but could absolutely be switched around so that it is holding something. So this could be holding a honey jar of sorts to go with my character, but I just left it plain for right now. I was thinking of a baby card in mind. But with that, need to create a scene. I went ahead and die cut pieces from the treehouse die. The main part of the tree was die cut out of, I think it was chocolate bar or paper bag. And then the tops of the trees, I die cut from algae. And then I went around the outer edges with jalapeno ink and then also a little bit of noble fir. We have our outer edges for our window and also our door. Now that one, I did die cut out of a darker brown cardstock so that it stood out a little bit. And then I could attach the pieces for the top of my tree. Now I love big poofy trees. So this one had quite a few pieces to it. Just using my liquid glue to attach all of them. So I have the three main pieces, and then I had the two smaller ones, which these smaller pieces could also work as clouds because they're just kind of that nice, cute, puffy look to them. I'm adding some sticky note cardstock behind the window pieces. I just trimmed off some scraps from a piece and added that behind. So that way it looks like there's a little light glowing in the inside. Now, also for my background, I just needed a really simple scene. I'm using a cloudy stencil, a blending brush, and mermaid ink, and just lightly creating some clouds in the background. A lot of this is probably going to get covered up, but I figure it's better to be on the safe side to just create the whole entire background versus not having enough on there. Now, before I do my sentiment, which I did kind of line up there in the top corner as a guide, I'm going to go ahead and just glue down my treehouse for right now. And then I'm using a grassy border piece that I die cut out of cilantro cardstock. I'm using that as a guide. So the treehouse is attached. I knew for sure I wanted it kind of hanging off the edge of the cardstock. I added the grassy border with thin foam squares and then trimmed off any excess. And this is why I needed that kind of glued down right away, is so that for one, it didn't move, and that it also fit into my MISTI nicely so I could just stamp directly onto the card front. This is a sentiment from Swan Soirée using black licorice ink. Then I can go ahead and add my character to the front of the card. This I'm also going to have just slightly hanging off the edge, which is fine because it just kind of gives you the illusion that the scene is continuing. And my finishing touches are going to be bringing in a white gel pen to add highlights. It just gives this a little bit more of a cutesy look and kind of makes things stand out just a little bit more. So this could actually be used in the inside of a card and have the character popping up. But I really love the fact that I can take those interactive dies and use them on the front of my project so that they are the focal point of everything. So there we have our finished card project. I absolutely love how this came out. This worked out better than I thought it was going to, and I can't wait to create more character bears using this set. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this gives you some inspiration and happy crafting.